April is now upon us, and I can officially now say that Toronto has entered its spring market. Now, with it being the busiest time in the real estate year, what's happened with Toronto real estate prices? Have they gone up? Have they gone down? Have they stayed flat? We're going to go over all of that with Toronto real estate by the numbers for March 2023. Very quickly, my name is Gabriela Batista from Homes into Reality. I'm a Toronto real estate agent. I talk about being a first-time buyer in the Toronto real estate market every single week with the goal and the intention of educating first-time buyers. If you're buying in a year, 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, I want to educate and help people gain some confidence in the Toronto real estate market. So whenever they're able to make that first big move, they can do so stress-free. So with that, give me a follow, give me a subscribe, give me a like, whatever that may be. If you want to book a call with me, my information is below. Let's get into the video and talk. We will be looking at the median price point for Toronto real estate numbers for the sole reason is, as a first-time buyer in Toronto, we're not looking at the luxury real estate prices. We're looking at an entry-level price point. So I think a median price point is much more indicative of what that property at an entry-level price point is. So here it is. For a detached property, the median price point is $1.375 million. With a semi-detached home, we're at $1.166 million. For a freehold townhouse, we're at $1.137 million. And for a condo townhouse, you're at $790,000. And for a condo apartment, you're at $655,000. So I combined the graphic this time around so we can see the year-over-year change, the month-over-month change for these price points. You look at the year-over-year changes, you're down 14% for detached homes. Semi-detached homes, you're down just above 17%. For freehold towns, you're just about 17% down as well. 12.7% down for condo towns. And condo apartments, you're down 12.67%. And if you've been following my channel for a while or you've been keeping track of the Toronto real estate market, you'll know why the prices year over year are so dramatic. The reason being that during March and let's say maybe February was the peak of the Toronto real estate market in 2022. That's when the prices were the highest. You'll see as we bring up graphs, those were the highest points in most prices. So the fall is going to be pretty dramatic as the rest of the 2022 year was full of a lot of declines. When we look month over month, it does tell a little bit of a different story. With detached homes are up 2.15%. Your semi-detached homes are up just under 3%. Your freehold towns are down about 1%. Your condo townhouses are up 1.61%. Your condo apartments are up just above 1% as well. So your month-over-month numbers are predominantly increases with the one decrease in freehold townhouses, but overall are telling you a much different story from your year-over-year numbers versus your month-to-month numbers. And the curious thing about why the prices may be up slightly month over month is because we are in that spring market. Price increases usually are in that January, February, March, sometimes April. That's when we see prices really jump up because there's less supply, more demand. We're leading up to that spring market. So it makes sense that prices have actually gone up month over month. The caution that I have, or I want to kind of communicate to the first-time buyers watching this video, is 2% and 1% and 3%. They seem like a lot of percentages for real estate to go up every single month. But what I do want to caution is tends to be the busiest time of year when it comes to real estate. There's a little bit of a lack of listings out there, and there's maybe a higher demand for buyers waiting for properties to come on the market. So prices tend to increase a lot during these February and March months. So I'm a little bit shocked at maybe how little they've gone up during this time period, because usually you'll see in the summer months there may be more of a stabilizing feature. So I wouldn't be concerned that you see a 2% increase or a 3% increase or even a 1% increase, that this is going to happen every single month. This is the busiest time of year when it comes to Toronto real estate. I mentioned before that maybe there was a little bit of a lack of listings, lack of new supply in the market, which is why this is the biggest month for shifts in the real estate market. And that shows it in the numbers as well. If you look at new listings, they're down 33.9%. And new listings is compared to last year, the amount of new properties coming in the market. So not properties on the market currently, but properties coming on the market. So the amount of new inventory is down pretty significantly. 33% is not a small number in any sense. So if we're looking at new properties coming in the market, there's the same buyer pool, let's just say, are fighting over less listings and dramatically less listings. I can brainstorm maybe a couple reasons why new listings are down. Is it because people just don't want to sell at a discount in their mind because they see that prices are down significantly year over year? They want to wait till the market recovers before they sell the property. Maybe people are distressed to the point where they rather just not move and they hold on to dear life with the properties that they currently own. It's an interesting conversation to have, but it's showing this that the people putting on the market are not there. It's definitely a fewer and far between compared to last year. Now, when I compare it to active listings, we're actually up 15.2% year over year. So compared to last year, we have 15.2% more listings, which is an interesting conversation because our new listings are down pretty dramatically, but our active listings are up. So it's a funny dynamic that we're working between the two. And what's interesting is if active inventory is higher than it was last year, and we're not seeing a big bump into sales, which we'll look into afterwards, why is that? And the reason why I think active listings are up and the real estate market really isn't adjusting is because a lot of these properties on the market are stale. They haven't really been moving much. They've been, especially if new listings are down, the inflow of properties isn't a ton, but properties are staying on the market. And that's either because they're not selling or because they're overpriced, not realistic. So there's a bunch of maybe reasons why, but active inventory is up ironically year over year. Now, one of the reasons why active inventory is staying so high is because your sold activity is being affected. And your sold activity down from March of last year in 2022 to March of this year, 2023, is down 36.67%. And that's pretty dramatic still. In past months, if you've watched those videos, we've been down closer to 50% in some past months. So we're not at that level anymore, but we're still at a pretty dramatic level. 33 or 36.67% is dramatic in any sense. Now, if we compare those sold numbers to past years, it's pretty dramatic. Like again, we're not down 50% for a lot of these things, but if we look at, let's say, the light blue line over here is for 2023 and the orange line is for 2022. We're down pretty significantly. March is that busiest time of year when it comes to sales. So do we expect April, May, June to be any higher? Probably not. This is going to be our busiest time period over the past few years. And then we can even look at 2021 to contrast. We're definitely down 50% from 2021 if we just blindly look at these numbers. So we're definitely at a much lower demand point when it comes to year-over-year sales, when it comes to overall interest. It's very obvious when it comes to looking at the numbers. Now that we're talking about graphs, we can actually look at the new listing numbers as well. Like we're pretty dramatically under what we usually are with new listings coming onto the market. You'll see that the gray line, which is 2023, is significantly under what past years are when it comes to new properties on the market. And because we're not seeing that line or that amount of new listings come up, it's a weird give or take because the demand really isn't there through the sold numbers, but the supply is not even close to there when it comes to comparing. So, if we had more new listings, would we have maybe more of a price decline? We probably would. And I think that's probably the only thing right now holding back properties from declining in price is the fact that people are not selling their homes. The demand is much smaller, but they're still dealing with a smaller pool of homes, ironically. So that affordability or that competition is still fairly high. The last number I'll look at is your days on market. It is pretty dramatically up. You're looking at last year in 2022 in March, you're looking at days on market about 10 days versus in 2023, you're at about 20 days. Ironically, that number is probably a little even higher dramatically up because last year, agents would purposely hold back offers for 10 days and they would be forced to sell in 10 days, not less. But if offers were any time, they probably would have sold in 2, 3, 4 days. Versus now, properties just take 20 days to sell. So let me sum up the Toronto real estate market, at least the way I'm seeing it right now, or at least my boots on the ground understanding of it. The two key indicators that we're looking at is your new fresh listings and your sold activity. So your demand being the sold activity, your supply being the new listings. Both of them are down. Demand's down, supply's down. But supply's down even more than demand is. So unironically, it is still competitive for these buyers because they're competing against maybe a smaller overall buyer pool, but there's more offers per property and there's less properties to fight over. So that's what the interesting thing in sense of maybe you might hear on the news that it feels really competitive in Toronto real estate market, but the prices don't show it in my opinion. Like the prices have been flat, fairly flat month over month. Considering it's the busiest time of year, they really haven't had that major change month over month. So it's interesting. What I'm seeing boots on the ground is your condo prices have really not changed a ton for most situations. It hasn't been as competitive. Your freehold entry-level properties have been more competitive. You're seeing multiple offers on those. More because I guess it's an entry-level price point and they want to get into a freehold property. But with condos, I'm not seeing that same competition. You're seeing properties take a little bit longer to sell, but they're selling with less competition. And those sometimes will sell with maybe one offer and no competing offers. So that's what I'm seeing right now, which is an interesting market for a first-time buyer. If they're looking at the entry-level home, if they're looking at that one step up to an entry-level freehold, it gets a little bit more competitive. But right now, as a first-time buyer looking at the typical condo, it's actually in my opinion, a fairly friendly market for you guys to get into right now. Of course, that takes some time of seeing if that market's right for you. Like I said, if I can educate you guys in 6 months, 3 months, a year, 2 years, 10 years, that's where my goal really comes in. I really want to help you guys keep in track of the market as it goes along. I'm really excited to see where the real estate market goes over the next 12 months. And again, what we do every single month at Homes into Reality on this YouTube channel, every single week, is we update you guys in the real estate market. So if that's, you're searching in 6 months to a year, you're keeping in track, keeping in touch with the real estate market, and you can feel confident that every single month you understand the trends that are going on. Anyways, my name is Gabriela Batista, Homes into Reality. If you have any questions, you want to reach out, if you want to book a call with me, do so in the description. I'm going to be back next week and every single week with more content on my socials, my Instagram, and my YouTube. I'm happy to do these videos all the time, hoping to help some first-time buyers get into the Toronto real estate market. Anyways, talk soon. Take care. Bye.